I made videos, I think it was 2019 and 2020, or 2020 and 2021. And I actually argued that Boris Johnson would be the force that would bring down Britain to its knees. In fact, I compared Boris Johnson to King Nebuchadnezzar. And the reason why I said that was because Boris Johnson is a very strong, resilient character. And God is not afraid to use strong, resilient characters in order to bring them down to their knees, like he did King Nebuchadnezzar. King Nebuchadnezzar was persecuting the church and wanted Christians to bow down, or Daniel, Shadrach, Abednego, to bow down to him as a god, to forsake the laws of Christ. And as a result, Daniel was persecuted. Now, today we see similar, where in Britain and America, if you are not prepared to go down the route of they and pronouns, never mind having to justify same-sex marriage, it's gone worse than that now. You have to use the pronoun. In other words, you have to deny your conviction and your faith. You're going to prison. And this level of persecution really was going full rage like a bull to a red cloth at Christians. And I started to make videos saying that you will see the curse of God on this godless nation. Where Boris Johnson got into it, Boris Johnson, what's interesting, even though he's a criminal, he's got a criminal conviction, him and Rishi Sunak, it shows the level of desperation and depravity that Britain is in. You have two leaders, right? Okay, one has left, who got fined by the police for criminal activities. He must have been criminal, or the police wouldn't have fined them. Yet you have them, in positions of power. Okay, it tells you how low down the state of affairs things has become. Low down, where you got two convicts running the country. Okay. However, despite the England getting rid of Boris Johnson, I always had a feeling that he would not go away, because this strong character, this resilient King Nebuchadnezzar, was going to be used to stir up the pot of England's stew. Boris Johnson said that he's going to cause trouble. He's going to cause trouble with Rishi Sunak deal with affairs over Brexit. He's going to derail it. He's going to cause trouble. Have you noticed that the Tory party, even though they're in power, people have voted these to trust them with their lives, with the economy, cost of living crisis, and the war with Russia. And as a result, the shelves are empty in England. The shelves are empty. The government are lying to you, pretending there's hope. But they're not going to tell you that. They want your vote. So even if you're starving, the government will tell you to live off the flavors of the smell of the food. This is how they think. They don't care about truth. All they care about is that they get votes. And the shelves are empty. No, even though they're claiming they win the war with Russia, but that's neither here or there. So what's happening is that Boris Johnson saying that he's going to frustrate the process between Rishi Sunak and the EU. Why? for the simple reason they're loggerheads. These people are running the country. These people are you trusting them with your lives, and yet they're playing dice with you. Well, I put it to you, there's greater force at work here. Greater force. I already started by saying that Christians has been persecuted under the LGBTQ. Christians have been persecuted not only in Britain but in America. And I said, you watch this space. Right, Britain, she thinks she's in the money. She's watching all this inflation. Sometimes it goes up a digit, sometimes it drops back down again. She thinks that she's going to be prosperous. And I said, no, you're not going to be prosperous. There's a curse on your land. It's about when Labour gets in, when the Tory remains in power, England will feel the wrath of God. Until you leave the church alone, you will see your kingdom divided. You will see the House of Commons turn into a pack of animals. You will not, come to an agreement on anything. People say, well, the EU, is God's plan. And I'm thinking, well, who's saying this? Christians or atheists? Now, these people are using the Bible for their own political agenda, for their own political ends. Oh, well, EU, is God's Brexit plan. Really? If you really believe it, why don't you give your life to Jesus tonight? If you really believe in the Bible. But no, they use the Bible for political purposes. Well, God told me we're going to leave the EU. And that's it. No. There's going to be a shake-up of the earth. The kingdoms will divide against themselves. Don't think your kingdom is safe. It will divide. It will be a stirring up of what you will ever imagine. What you will ever imagine. The House of Commons, you will see it devastate. So don't think to yourself, because Britain left the EU, that you're going to be the winner. No, you're not going to be the winner. And you know why? Because you've been persecuting the church. And when you touch God's anointed, you will see what happens to you. With all your cleverness, with all your sorcerers, with all your magician tricks, with all your economists, you will not get yourself at this situation. It's interesting that Boris Johnson has suddenly come back. People thought they killed King Nebuchadnezzar. They thought they nailed him in the coffin. They thought they killed him. And still, that stubborn brute, like the pharaohs, when they enslaved the children of Israel. And even though God showed his hands, what the pharaohs did, they fought against God until they were crippled and drowned in the sea, in the Red Sea. So Boris Johnson, people thought they killed him. They thought he would never come back. This stubborn brute, this stubborn ox, this King Nebuchadnezzar, you will never get rid of him. He will destroy England. He will be used to take down this country. And they even says that most of England want this brute to come back. Most of England want this criminal, this convict to come back. It tells you they're desperate. And who have you got at the moment? Rishi Sunak, who has his national identity in America. Rishi Sunak is more American than he's British. More American. His wife is not even English. And yet they're running England. It tells you the state of affairs. In fact, Boris Johnson, I'm sure he was born in America. You see, when you curse God, your blessings will be given to foreigners. I'm sure Boris Johnson was born in America. This is what happens when you curse God. Your blessings will be given to foreigners. I'm telling England, you watch this space. You ain't seen nothing yet. They said that there's food rationing, the shelves are empty, cost of living, people are worried over the war with Russia, etc. That people think God's going to bless England and bless America, two countries where Christianity is not allowed. Yeah, God's going to bless you. Think about it rationally and logically. God's going to bless America and Britain, yet she's not wanted. Christians are persecuted over trans. Wake up.